Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Catherine Parr, and this podcast is called Catherine Parr's Light, where we strip away the fluff, keep it real, and bring spiritual practice down to earth so you can step into your own power. Spirituality isn't meant to be mysterious. It's a way to reconnect with yourself, grounded and practical. Today, I'm thrilled to be talking with Mary Sharp, internationally recognized clairvoyant, medium, author, teacher, and keynote speaker. She's the mind behind bestsellers like I See, I Hear, Am I Clairvoyant? And My Stroke, My Story. And she's offering a powerful blend of personal readings, a 6-week Am I Clairvoyant course, and her special intimate event, I See, I Hear, Am I Clairvoyant? An afternoon with Mary Sharp, happening this August in her home in Matarangi. Mary's approach brings spiritual practice into real life. No frills, just clarity, empowerment, and connection. Before we start with Mary, we're going to take a deep breath in, breathing in love and light, and exhaling any heaviness. Mary, welcome to the show. We're really grateful to have you here. Thank you so much.
It's just great to be here. I mean, all the time that I've known you, it's just been a joy every time we get together. So this is just fantastic. I think you're really doing a great job. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mary. We're so blessed and privileged to have her here. Okay, so where do we start? There's so much to talk about. I think the first thing that I want to kind of touch on, just so that we can get to know Mary Sharp a little bit more, is you transitioned from modeling into the real estate world in the 90s, and then you built up your spiritual career. What a pivot you have done along the way.
Well, the biggest problem that I had when I was actually working in corporate and actually training people to be really top real estate agents, I was on both sides of the Tasman. And so it just wasn't appropriate at that time to stand up and say, hey, guys, I'm clairvoyant and I can add this to my training. And I would have been fired. And that was sort of the feel and pace of what was happening in New Zealand at that time. Spirituality or being a clairvoyant or a medium or whatever was pretty much not expected as a bona fide way of living or earning a living. And so you kept it quite quiet because you thought everyone would think you were nuts. And for me, I was very careful because I was dealing with sometimes 200 or 300 people in a training room over a day. And so the last thing they needed to hear was my idea of spirituality.
Or maybe it wasn't the last thing they needed to hear.
No.
After your serious health event, the stroke, you describe emerging with a renewed spiritual focus. Do you feel like that really was what really turned it on for you?
What really happened, I think, was when I had to recover. It took me 3 years to recover. It was such a massive stroke. And there was 3 years where I just sat down and thought, why am I here? What is this all about? And what do I have to learn? I've learned in life that if you make mistakes and you screw up, it's because it's teaching you something and you've got to learn from it. So I did over those 3 years some serious thinking on my spirituality, where I wanted to go with it, what I wanted to do with it. And so it really set me on a determined level to go out and get the business and really get people to understand. I was a teacher all my life. And so teaching spirituality for me is an absolute joy, and watching people understand it and realizing what they've got. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're very good at it. Has been a fabulous mentor for me in unlocking my own personal gifts. And just like I say, often the permission slip to really step into who I truly am, my authentic truth. So I'm very grateful to Mary for that.
You're welcome.
So I do have a question here regarding you walking us through a transformative moment that has shaped your spiritual calling. I feel like that's a lot of what you've just spoken into around your stroke. I do know, because I know a little bit about you, that previous to your stroke, you really did have that inner calling. You had that knowing, but you didn't feel like you were confident, which is what you've just spoken into, to really, because of the time, because of how people's understanding around spirituality was. Where were you using that in your everyday life before you came out as a clairvoyant?
On everything. When I was training, for example, the whole idea of when you're doing a whole day seminar is you've actually got to you've got to capture the audience in the first hour. If you don't, you're just going to have a very hard day. And so what I did was I'd go around the room and you could feel the hot spots. I could feel where there was no energy and I could feel where there was energy. So where there was energy, I was happy. Where there wasn't, I started working on it. The one thing most people want, believe it or not, is recognition. So if I call them up and say, John, how are you? God, haven't seen you for ages. Wonderful to see you here at the seminar. And what are the questions you've got? So all of a sudden you've drawn in the people that you know are going to be a pain in the ass, proverbially ass, pain in the ass, and you're getting them involved in the whole thing. So it taught me, with spirituality, it just taught me where I could go and where I couldn't, particularly when I was on stage. In Australia as much as in New Zealand. So, so I learned very quickly. I could feel the energy and I go, no, we don't go there. Well, yes, we can. Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's also talk into other moments that you've had with other clients where you felt like you've been able to bring that out in them, awaken their awareness to their own spirituality.
It's a little bit like the course that I'm going to do on next Saturday.
Yes.
Is I see, I hear, am I clairvoyant? And the beauty about that is that everybody is clairvoyant. They just don't come across it in this lifetime. But you'd be amazed the amount of people will say to you, if you're in conversation, they'll say to you, "Oh, I've got this little thing on my dressing table and it keeps moving. I'm not moving it and nobody else is moving it, but it's moving and then it will move back." I've got a very dear friend whose husband died. He was a motor racing driver and he died at the track. Sandy always will tell me about some of the things. There'll be a ruffle on the curtains. There'll be somebody walking past the bed. There'll be movement. Everybody at some stage has parts of spirituality opened up to them. Mm. They don't necessarily know it or understand it. Mm. And I guess I didn't either at the very beginning. I didn't really understand it. But I was taken along to a workshop. And I was very skeptical when I went along, I can tell you. But it was a really nice friend of mine, and I really respected her, so I went. At the end of that day, I just walked out and sat in the car and thought, oh my God, there is so much I don't know. And so, and I wasn't one of those people that was looking for something different. I was very happy in my environment and my marriage and the children and where I lived and the job that I had. But I realized when I walked out that there was more. There was so much more I didn't really know about. So that's where it really all started. And that was about 25, 26 years ago.
So let's talk about this. I see, I hear, am I clairvoyant? Well, your seminar that you have here, workshop, seminar, what would you like to call it?
Do you know, it's probably going to be more of a workshop than it will be a seminar. I don't want to stand up there and talk for 3 hours. What I want to do is introduce them and get them talking and speaking about, like, why did you come? What's your curiosity? What made you come here? Mm. What do you want to find out about? And I think the more you get people talking in a group, the more everybody learns, including the teacher. And so you just sit there and you learn. And so I'm very good at just directing traffic. And so it's just letting everybody realize that the people that are in the room are the same as them. I know when I first went to that training, that first day, and the course was called I See, I Hear, Am I Clairvoyant? So I've kept it and it's worked right through my business. But the people that were there were just like me. They weren't weird or nuts or anything. There was a policeman there. Believe it or not, there was a prostitute there. So there was some variety. And there was me in the middle of it. But I mean,
and what were you doing at the time?
I was training and I was teaching people on how to actually build an incredible business at real estate. Yes. And then I was working with the top end people as well. But I worked in Australia, so I went over and did I actually did the Brian Tracy program, which is a 2-day. And how lucky was I to be asked to do that? So that's about the power of the mind. And if there was the one person who benefited from it more than anyone else was me, because I spoke it and taught it. And so I learned so much from that. Once again, there's a touch of spirituality in Brian Tracy, but it wasn't enough to bring out on stage and cause an issue, because that's what it would have been. Why are you talking about this stuff?
Yes, at the time.
At the time.
Now we sort of seem to see it everywhere, don't we?
I think people are coming to understand it more, yeah, and wanting to know how to deal with it. Australia is much faster than us. America is streets ahead because they've got a country now, right now, that is not a happy country. And so I think they're starting to look for pathways.
So you blend clairvoyance with candidness, removing the woo-woo so it's accessible. How do you keep the balance between intuitive teaching and everyday practicality?
That's a really good question. I was so laughing before you arrived. I was sitting out looking at the view and I was talking to one of my main guides, Archangel Michael. And my father is a very strong guide for me amongst all of the others. So I was saying to him, Archangel Michael, where the hell is the house sale and why has it...
Funny you say that. I had a call. I had an answer for that. There we go. This is mediums talking together. I had an answer for that before I arrived, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. All right. So I do talk to them and I have a sense of humor. But do you know what amazes me is that when I call Archangel Michael, he's always, always there. Just walk straight in. You can just hear him. And it's just walk straight in. But I didn't learn that initially at the very beginning of my life with spirituality. It took time. Do you know, I would say that probably in the first 3 or 4 years I studied. I went to Stanstead Hall.
That's right. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
That is just an amazing college. It is the only English-speaking college on psychic abilities in the world. In the world, the only other one is one in Holland, but it's all in Dutch. So, and the thing with the Arthur Finley, for any of your viewers watching, you can go and look it up, and then you can find the curriculum, and you can buy some of their training. So, and it's not expensive. It's really not expensive at all.
You can do that remotely.
Yes, you can. I just put it straight over the internet. You just pick it up and go, and off you go. So that changed my attitude even again, from being a clairvoyant medium to realizing that I was actually very strong on all facets. But I didn't really know that, and I didn't really know what to do with it. So the whole week there's 130 people. They all stay in the manor house, and the manor house is to die for. It was built back in the, I think, if I'm right, 16th century. I can't remember if it's 16th or 17th, but 16th century. And the chap that actually owned it ended up passing away, and he left it to Spiritualist Union.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that now is Stanstead Hall, and what an amazing college that is. And it covers everything from basically getting into spirituality, going right through all aspects of everything that you can possibly learn.
And so are you able to give us a little example of what you got out of your time there? So I know a few stories. You've told me a few stories, like when you've been giving readings to other students there. Can we talk into that a little bit?
Well, you know, when you go somewhere like that and it's in England and you've arrived there, you expect that everybody is much better than you.
Yes.
And you just think, I mean, I'll shut up, which is unusual for me. And I'll sit down, shut up at the back of the classroom and just listen, right? But what I found is that on the first day, even towards the end of the first day, they put us out on the lawn on chairs and partners, and we had to read for each other. And I found that most of the people in the class didn't know how to read. So they were all lighting
That's
up.
why they were there, Mary.
Yeah, I'm made for a reading. So I was doing all these quick, fast moving readings, and it was quite funny because I didn't really expect to be the bottom end of the class. I wasn't put into the beginners class; they put me into the intermediate. But because I didn't come from a spiritual religious background, they didn't put me into the top. The next time I went back, they put me straight into the top group.
You think it was because you hadn't been practicing? Is that what you meant by that? Because you didn't have a background in giving readings? They didn't.
Oh, no, I did.
Oh.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I always did readings. I still do.
Yes.
But I'm not. Some clairvoyance mediums will just sit in one aspect of their business.
Yes.
I don't.
No.
I sit in all aspects of it. And so, yeah, when someone says, would you give me a reading? I'm always very happy to. But I don't, do you know what I mean? I don't set it up as this is what it is. The idea of what I'm doing with the courses here is for everyone to realize that it's open to you, all of it. All of the spirituality is open to you. So when you discover it and you start to feel comfortable with it, you can start to delve into all other aspects. You know what that's like.
I sure do.
You know, it's taken you down so many different channels.
We call that rabbit holes. No, you're right.
No, channels, because you're multidimensional. So am I. But really my passion is teaching people that this is available to them.
Yes. Yes.
And they can do whatever they like with it. But if they go out and train and start, not train, but just start looking things up and reading things and talking to other people that are spiritual and just let themselves
Of course, I got a phone call just while we were recording. That's okay. We'll cut and we'll keep going.
Okay.
Okay, so your work and events are deeply rooted in personal transformation, which is what we were just talking into, from modeling and real estate success to recovering from a stroke to discovering the spiritual path. How do these experiences shape your offerings, if at all?
It's really interesting because this year both my husband and I have not been well. I suppose it's because we're getting into our 70s, late 80s. My husband's going to 80, but
Not late.
everything that happened to me in my life was always a lesson to learn. Some not that good a lesson, and others were fabulous, fantastic. So all of those things that happen to you, when you have all these things, this drama things that happen to you, a lot of people will go into the negative and say, oh God, my life hasn't been great. Whereas I'll go into the positive and say, I learned so much through my life. And when I had the stroke, I truly knew that I was given it to shut me up and to sit me down, to take stock of where I was and to start learning more. And instead of thinking on the negative, I thought on the positive. And that's probably my personality anyway, but the spirituality helped me to do that hugely. I went upstairs to my guides, and at that stage, my guide was panicky. So you can't think that one up. So definitely panicky. And I said to her, what do I have to learn? And so she outlined for me what I needed to learn. And so it was 3 years, and I knew I was ready then. I'd done a lot of work prior to the stroke, but I'm doing a lot more powerful work now.
So do you find that you can use those skills when dealing with your clients? Do you feel like that?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. It makes you a much better teacher because you know that everyone in the room that's come to your seminar or come to your, 3 hours, every single one of them is wanting to learn something. And so I just know that when they leave the house, they will have left with all that knowledge. They'll file some away and they'll keep looking up with other stuff that interests them more. But it wakens them up. That's really what I'm doing, is waking them up.
Amazing.
And that's what I've been asked to do by my guides, is to wake people up.
Perfect. So once the has taken place, once they've been here, they've had their 3 hours with you. What is it? What is there any follow up beyond the event? Will there be any opportunities for them to reconnect with you? You've got your 6-week course. Is that something that would be good for them to look into after?
I'm thinking with the 6-week course. Funny enough, I just had a conversation with Kelly, who built my website.
Yes, Kelly Bowen. She does the website.
She does. She's just amazing.
She is.
Unbelievable. So I had a word with her, and she was the one who came to me and she said, instead of you doing and actually having to sit down and do the 2 hours every week, why don't we get it all recorded? And then client can just pop in.
Perfect.
they can. There's a charge, and it's on my website, and they go in and they listen to everything, and I'll just read it. I'll have it all out for them, so they know exactly what they're doing.
I think that came through in a reading that I gave you also, Mary.
Okay, but Kelly brought it up.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, only like when she just got back, because I'd forgotten.
Clearly, but that's okay. That happens. Or I think that happens also sometimes in a reading. You'll give someone a reading, you'll give them information, and then it will come through from a third party or something like that, just to solidify that into the 3D. That's how I feel spiritually sometimes as well.
Yeah, they do, and they probably know that my memory's not that great, so they're firing it at me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I think I'm looking now more at fine tuning it so that it's all computer based.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants me, if they want to do anything or a reading or whatever, they don't have to be in Matarangi to come and get it. They can do it online.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So this is your first event at home, isn't it?
Yeah. First time.
How many people are you expecting to attend?
Look, I don't know. When I've done this before, this is before I'd had the stroke, most people come in at the last minute. They always say, oh my God, I better let's write Saturday. I have no idea. It could be 3. It could be 13. It could be 23. I have no idea.
You're just open to whatever.
I've given the address. I've just given it out as where I am, and you can pay at the door.
Wonderful.
It's not a big deal. Just pay money at the door, and come on in. This room or this place will take about 20.
Great.
But I don't think I'll get 20. I mean, if I get 7 or 8, I'll be.
Look, you need to open the doors up, and everyone stands outside as well. You're open to that too, right?
Yeah, I've done that before. But so it really is finding out where people are coming from.
Wonderful. Do you have any stories or anything that you'd like to share with the audience?
If there was one thing I thought I could do better, was when I first started. This girl took me along to the seminar, and at the end of the day, I was very taken with the whole concept. I wish there'd been a place where I could go as a beginner's school. And that's what I'm trying to do here now. Because it becomes a slow process, the rest of your life takes over and you push it to the side. And then occasionally you'll put it back in and go, God, I've done nothing with that. And you'll start thinking about it. You probably know what that feels like. You just push all of that aside because you don't really think that it is a viable way of life and where you are in your family. And you come from, with your part Maori in you, you've come with storytelling and with all of that goes with it. They are so much more spiritual than what we are as New Zealanders. For me, I've lost my train of thought now.
So offering, so we were talking into offering a basic level of training.
I wished I'd had that at the beginning because it would have kept me in there, even if it's just once a week or once a month.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking here is that this house is just perfect, this room, to actually have it. And it's got a nice feel to it. You've got the view and everything. So I thought what I'd do is once a month, just do a seminar once a month.
Wonderful.
And I'll just advertise it on Witty Radio, which is what I've been doing. And they're really reasonable in there.
So to be clear, that's Coromandel FM.
Oh, Coromandel FM. Sorry. Sorry. Coromandel FM, Witty Radio. Yeah. So that there's once a month, there's a place to come to sit and talk. And you can say, when you meet somebody again, you go, what have you been doing? And they say, well, I haven't done very much. I've done a bit of this and a bit of that. And that's how you learn and grow. I mean, the girl that took me along to that first meeting years ago, she used to do it on a Saturday. Every Saturday she would have a session. Sometimes there might only be 1 or 2. Sometimes there might be 10. They'd all come along. And it was just a great place to learn. And
so to take it to a little notch higher, which I know you try to get me to not do too often, the way my understanding has been in the energy, being in the same frequency as like-minded beings, like anywhere, it doesn't matter whether it's within the corporate world, whether it's within you know, anything. When you're around like-minded people in that collective energy, it also helps you to upgrade yourself. So it's about being in that energy.
Yeah. That's why when you're coming here, like say you come into this room and you sit down, even if we've only got 9 or 10 people in the room, right? It's a safe place to come a month later and see who else is here.
Yes.
And just grow. We do it. If we go into a big hall, it doesn't really matter. Still the same staff.
Yeah.
Meeting this different people. Each person is different.
Yes.
I mean, Catherine, they're all different. I could put all my clients in the room and you'd crack up laughing at who is in the room. But I had the America, and I've got a strong business in America, and I'm amazed at how scared they are at the moment.
Yes. Well,
They're just
very scary what they're going through at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So no, so for me, nobody's really ever done that. Set it up as a monthly, once a month on a Saturday, and that's the date. Come along. This is what you pay, whatever. And just talk. You've got people. You have an environment where it's okay to talk about spirituality, and it's okay to learn about it. And I think sometimes spirituality is actually not the right word, because the common New Zealander and Australian goes straight to religion. So I seem to say I'm a clairvoyant medium, or all of a lot of other things, but people get that. Yeah.
Can we talk into, or if you're able to give me the definition of what a clairvoyant is, and what a medium is, and what a tarot reader is, just so we can just let the audience know.
Okay, so let's just say if you're a clairvoyant. Clairvoyant means that you talk to your angels or your guides. So you have this backwards and forwards conversation, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to rule the world, but you have an understanding of spirit. And so you talk and you communicate. When you were a kid, I can remember being a kid of about 3. And I used to have a big pepper tree under the house, in the garden. And I'd go down there and I'd make tea for all of my friends. And I'd invite my father, and my father would come and sit down in a little chair and I'd have the teapot. And Mum would have thought it all up. And so we all had that, but I had the little ones up, my friends, and I saw angels. I talked to angels in the garden, and Dad said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just talking to my angels."
Beautiful.
So when we're young and when we're born beautifully with all of this beauty around us. Gets whittled down by mums and dads that get a little bit angry about this or that, or do you know what I mean? And we get caught up in humanity rather than spiritual, where we were.
Yes.
So for me, that was just watching that, how that grew in me was interesting. But so from the clairvoyant side of it, most people will say, she's just doing a reading, or just don't worry, don't listen to it, or don't.
Okay.
That's what the majority of people do. Don't want to know about it, right?
Yeah.
When somebody,
they might tell me something I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Let's talk into that.
Oh, well, that's okay. That is really big. When I'm doing readings or doing a reading for somebody, and spirit comes in with, "Do you realize, Mary, that this, and this, and this, and this?" So I don't not pass it on. I make sure it sounds gentler.
Yes.
So it's just gentle.
Softened.
And then I might say, and I think what a lot of people don't really understand with readings is that their time upstairs, I call it upstairs, and our time here aren't actually attuned. And so if I give you information and give it to a client, the information, they'll walk out the door and expect it to happen that day. It won't. It's probably a year down the track. I've had things been 7 years down the track. I remember Clairvoyant telling me 7 years ago that I would buy a house in the not in Matarangi, but on the water with the golf course. And she said, "And you will teach people golf." And I just thought to myself, "Gee, that's just a step too far." But guess what I'm doing?
Yes. You're not just teaching golf, are you?
No, I'm teaching. But golf was definitely a biggie for me. But I just couldn't imagine. I know I played on a low figures and I was good top player, and I played in New Zealand Open, all that sort of stuff. But teaching people something, especially down at the basics of golf, takes a very different talent.
I bet. Patience.
Patience. Yeah. And then when you see someone swinging a club for the first time, you go, "Oh my God, that's just awful." And then you think, "Oh shit, how long have I got to fix this?"
Oh, you're bringing back memories of my grandparents with me. Funny.
Yeah.
So let's go back to we've got the clairvoyant. So that's the clairvoyant side of things. Now, what is a medium?
A medium is when you touch base with past lives, right? So that's your grandfather, like we do with your grandfather and your grandma. And I do with my mother and my father. Yeah. My mother's so busy I don't get her very often, but I get my father all the time. That was like when I went to Stansted Hall, I just thought that I was clairvoyant. I had no idea that I had the abilities to touch into past lives and loved ones. So I learnt that skill. So
when we talk about past lives, we're talking along the lines, we're talking about, just to be clear and specific, we're talking about people that have had an incarnation here on earth and have passed over.
Not necessarily an incarnation.
Okay.
What do you mean by
incarnation? So they've lived in a human vessel, in the human body.
I'm 70. No. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, so yes. Yeah. What was the question?
Oh, sorry. Oh, we were just being specific. We were being specific around what a medium is, and that's somebody who has, so you're talking to past lives, so people that have lived a life here on earth and have passed over.
Yeah. So if you'll get into past lives or get into talking to your parents or whoever is up there, generally you could have your void anyway. Do you see what I'm getting at?
I do.
So you don't sit there and just say, I'm a medium.
No.
I would say to anyone that says that to me, well, what's your clairvoyant side like? And they'll go, what do you mean? And that's where they're missing the point of being able to talk
to the higher realms,
to higher up at a level that both of you understand. And it's actually nothing, it's nobody else's business. Do you know what I mean in that sense?
I do.
It's personal, I think. When I've done readings and parents or people that are really close to you come in, it's quite a traumatic time for a lot of people because so in some cases it's the first time they've ever had a conversation. And that's where I really feel like I'm making a difference there. I really feel like I'm helping.
Which is where we kind of step more into the healing side of readings, where our psychic medium clairvoyancy can really bring in a healing energy as well and give a bit of closure that those are seeking.
Absolutely. But there's also channeling, and channeling is also another one of those. I mean, there's clairvoyant, there's mediumship. I still think that the one-on-one, as a reader, as somebody who's working with somebody. Oh gosh, I've lost my train before looking, Catherine.
Okay, so channeling is also a part of mediumship.
Yes, it is. Channeling is huge.
Yes.
And that's where you can actually, I know Blair Stark is
amazing. He's coming on the show soon too.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah. So he is just amazing. He can zip in and zip out. And it's not just to bash. He can work outside of to bash.
I'm sure he can.
Yeah. But he doesn't do that very often. He uses to bash because he's becoming.
And Tabish is amazing. Guys, look him up. He's great.
Yeah. So, he's channeling. And Tabash comes right in and takes over the whole process. Now, that is a part of channeling. It's not all of it.
No.
Channeling can be just me sitting here and a guide coming down, and it could be a mother or a husband or whatever, and saying, I need them to know this. And so I will say to them, I'm going to channel for you right now because I've got a guy here, and he'll get right into it. I
feel a lot of the time when that energy comes through, I'm not sure if this is just because I'm spiritual myself, but you can feel the energy of that person. The mannerisms change, the tone changes, the feel in the room changes. You really feel that that person that's coming through.
It's almost an electrical
No.
bolt. I mean, it's not a bolt, an electrical bolt, but it feels like, for me, when they come in, the energy in my body, in me.
Yeah. But as a client, is what I'm saying, you often can feel that soul in the room.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely beautiful.
as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That depends on the level.
Yes. Of awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level of awareness.
So we've got clairvoyance here. We've spoken into channeling. We've spoken into mediumship. Let's talk about tarot. Tell me about your idea around tarot and oracle cards.
You know, as well as you know from me, I do not use tarot.
No.
I err on the side of positive,
Yes.
not negative. And I understand that you need to be able to, you need to learn to read tarot cards. I've never done that. I've always felt that they hadn't. For me, when I hold them in my hand, I can feel a negative content.
Okay.
And so I've never used them. I use angel cards, which is just beautiful.
Yes.
They're just beautiful. And I use them on myself as well. Sometimes I sit down and go, where are you going? And I pull out the cards and have a look. I don't really think, honestly, that you need all of that stuff. I started using the cards. I was at Stansted the second time, and I went to the little village, the Stansted Hall village, and they had a shop full of all these cards. So you can imagine it with Stansted Hall.
Amazing. I personally love cards, but I hear you.
And so
We'll have our
there was 25,000 different cards, right? And I thought, my God, somebody's making money. Sure, who? But anyway, one of the girls that I was staying with in a room, we were sharing a room, she said to me, I use angel cards. But she said, funny enough, I didn't bring them with me. So I said, oh, okay. So she told me about them. So I went and had a look. And out of all the cards that I looked at, these cards talked to me.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yes.
They're not sarcastic. And you'd be amazed at how many people read doom and gloom cards and then wonder why their spirituality hasn't quite come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've stayed always on that. I don't use them very often. I know when a client comes in if I need to use them, because for a client, it makes everything that I do seem real if they can see it coming from the card.
So the purpose of the cards isn't necessarily for the reader, it's actually for the client so that you can get those confirmations through. So a lot of the time when we do readings, we'll shuffle the deck and we'll say, now this is what's coming through. And then 99.9% of the time you flip the card and there's your confirmation right there. And it's not a card trick, guys. It is spirit. Yeah. So we've touched on tarot and oracle cards. Yep. We've touched on mediumship, clairvoyancy, channeling. Is there anything in the realms of what it is that you do that we've missed?
No, that's pretty much all of it. I mean, things like I find it fascinating when some people allow presence to come through. I mean, when I was in Stansted Hall, this particular person that was there was training us. He sat down on a seat and he just let the entity come through, and it was quite outstanding, really, when you saw it happening.
Right.
I've done it occasionally, and it's usually been when I've been reading for someone and somebody's come through, and I just allow them to take over the voice. It's very rare. I think the more you do of it, but it's never intrigued me. Do you know? I always sort of felt like I didn't really. I don't know. It doesn't intrigue me. No. But the people that I've seen do it is just quite fantastic. I mean, Blair is a good example.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay. Mary, my next question is, would you feel comfortable with bringing a message through for our audience today? It's something that's come through from Spirit. Would you be happy to call Archangel Michael in to do a little quick reading for us to send out to our audience?
I can tell you right now that we are surrounded by angels and archangels absolutely applauding the fact that this is getting out there and going out there, and that we're both doing work with websites and showing all of the different aspects of mediumship and clairvoyancy. And so from that point of view, they're thrilled to bits. I don't know. I think they've opened me up. So it's other people I open up as well. Come in.
We have visitors.
Come in.
She's coming. We were talking about a message for the collective from our archangels.
So when the archangels are working and you just know it in your own self. You just know it. Like I can wake up in the morning and get out of bed and go, okay, this is going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And I mean, I never say I think it's going to be a bad day, but you can just feel that you've got presence with you. And I just think that what they're looking for is to have people open their minds. It's getting to new people who actually do know that it's spiritual, that there is spirituality there, but they've just never touched it or done anything with it. And that's the issue. That's what I'm trying to do.
So with the angels that we have in the room, are they wanting to get anything else out to the collective? Is there anything coming through?
No, they're just going like this.
Yeah, they're just really excited.
Huge excited. It was like when I honestly remember that I told you I ran out of my bedroom with all these people coming into my bedroom when I was 5. And they were just all so excited that I was on Earth. I mean, well, I didn't know really why. And that was 5 years ago. You know, I was only 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So they are just, this room is full of them. And they're not just angels, they're guardian angels here too.
Yes.
And they're listening to what we're saying and what's going to go out there. And I think there's just applause. That's all it is, just straight applause.
That's wonderful. Well, Mary, thank you so much for joining us and bringing all of your wonderfulness to the table. Hopefully we get to talk again, especially after your course or workshop. And what was the date for the
23rd. August the 23rd.
Time is 4 p.m.?
No, 1 p.m. till 4
1
p.m.
p.m. till 4 p.m.
And it's at my home, which is in that.
Wonderful. So where can our viewers find you?
On my website,
which is
marysharp.com.
Wonderful.
Actually, marysharpnz.com.
marysharpnz.com.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time.